welcome to another week's video. Today I have something very nice to share with you, something you seem to enjoy very much here on the channel. I have a series of books to share with you to get cozy with this season. It's getting at that time of the year where it's fresher, we have less daylight, and I just want to get cozy under the blankets with a cup of tea or any hot drink. So I thought it would be a good opportunity to share some of my books that I think are very appropriate for this season, if I can say so. So before I start sharing, I'd like to thank everyone that has been following me here, and I really appreciate your support. And if you are new here to the channel, welcome. And if you like the content, please remember to give me that thumbs up and subscribe, hit the notification button, leave a comment. Anything can really help the channel to grow. So without further ado, let's start. I'll need to zoom out a little bit because the first book I have to share is massive. First one on the list is this gorgeous book called Terra Ultima from Raul de Leo. It has really gorgeous graphite illustrations, very detailed, as you can see here on the cover, and has this golden foil applied to it. Is a really beautiful book, and it's very big, as you can see by my hands here, so I'll do my best to show you what this book is about. The illustrations are really beautiful, and this remind me, before I start showing the book, it's kind of imaginary world of imaginative or invented creatures. It kind of reminds me of the book that I showed here in a previous book compilation video by Normal Messenger, The Land of Never Believe, I think is the name. I'm gonna leave a card here for that video if you haven't seen it. So look at this. Isn't this gorgeous? So here you have the introduction. It's written like someone that has been to this Terra Ultima, so it's type of book a bit like also another series I shared here on the channel of books about mermaids, and I believe was fairies and things like that. I have a card over here for that video if you want to watch. So they're all on theme for this type of imaginary world with fictional flora and fauna. So there's a lot of text in the beginning, but then you get to the beautiful illustrations. Look at this. This looks like a mix between maybe watercolor and colored pencil. So you have the name here, Toucan Twin Crab, Poseidon Gorillus. So you see you have all of this. Look at this. Isn't this gorgeous? I really love the mix. I love books about this type of imaginary worlds. As you can see, it's the third video I have where I feature a book like this, so should be no surprise to you that I really attracted to this type of book, and I hope you can appreciate also the creativity and the artistry that went into this book. I was really impressed when I saw it, and I think it's very inspiring as well for you to look at the way the artist created these illustrations, the techniques, and also inspired to create your own world of imaginary animals. I guess that's something that I like to do as well. Love drawing creatures and things of the sort. So yeah, it's really unique book. Look at this mix of red panda and ladybug. It's called The Six-Legged Lady Bear. So yeah, I have lovely lapin guen, which is funny. It's kind of a pun with the French word, because penguin in French is penguin. So, and lapin is rabbit. So lapin guen. It's a play on words, which is very funny. And look at these gorgeous colors. I don't even think I need to say anything about these pages. I hope you are able to appreciate it in the video, even though a bit far, but because of the massive size of this book, I had no choice but to really zoom out so you could see better. Look at these very detailed illustrations. You can see, I'm sure this is done with pencil. There's a lot of texture, which I also like, which is also present in the book by Norman Messenger. So yeah, what can I say? It's a very beautiful book, full of eye candy. And here you have the maps, the afterward. Look at this illustration, love it. Everything is beautiful. Look at this butterfly with the fish. I really like this mix and match of animals. It's very interesting. So here you have the register with all the names of the animals, and that's it. This was Terra Ultima, a gorgeous, gorgeous artist illustrated book. So now you're getting to a slightly smaller size of book, still quite big, but this is another illustrated book called Home by Carson Ellis. This is an illustrator I didn't know before, but when I saw the book I thought it was so lovely, the illustrations and the idea of drawing different homes, that I needed to have a look at this illustration. I think that a lot of illustrations are made with gouache or watercolor, I would say. Probably gouache. So here you have the first page of the book, and then you start having all of these lovely illustrations about different homes. Look at the very nice. Something I also enjoyed in this book is that the artist uses a lot of different marks and textures, and I really, really love this type of mark making on watercolor. I haven't used a lot in gouache, but yeah, I find it really inspiring. Look how many patterns you have here. You have the bricks and the curtains. Then you have this decorative brickwork over here. You have these water towers. So it's really nice. And I liked also that it's a type of folk art style of illustrating that really appeals to me. So yeah, I really love this book. And has different homes, as you can see here. You have some sort of Middle Eastern home. You have the underground layers, the shoe. I have in the past drawn some houses like with this theme of different homes, kind of. And look, lovely scenes full of detail. There's always something interesting to look at in every corner of the composition. All of these patterns as well. And I really love this. I think it's a very nice idea. I would like to try it myself. So you have kind of the same house in different ways. So you have clean homes, the messy homes, the tall homes, and the short homes. So you'll notice it's the same house drawn in different ways. I think this is a very creative exercise, and yeah, I'd like to try so myself. Really love this illustration here. I think this is also another lovely idea to do a composition in a round frame. I'd like to try that as well. And you have lovely pattern over here and the fish. When I saw this online, I was like, yes, I'm getting the book. Really, really nice. I like also another thing I really enjoy doing is drawing characters that look like humans with clothes and hats and stuff. And that's also in the book, which is very cute. I love the style of the illustrations. This page as well, look how much you can see in here. You have plants and you have mushrooms and teacup and butterflies and house. It's so rich, and love the color palette, also very muted. I find it really inspiring, this book. It's really nice. Look at this one. This one is full of patterns. This is the home of a Norse god. So you have all of these intricate patterns here and here. Such a lovely book. An artist lives here, look. And it's all within the same color palette, so very cute. And this is my home, and this is me. So this was the lovely home by Carson Ellis. Now, this next book is in French. I apologize for that. But this book was released only in French, and I really love this illustrator. It's called Mr. Hope. I'm gonna leave his Instagram handle over here if you want to check his work. He has beautiful illustrations, and I thought it would be great also, not only for the illustrations, but because we are approaching Halloween, and I thought that was really on theme, so I would like to share this with you, regardless of not having an English version available. So the Petit Bestiaire Fantastique is 100 monsters illustrated, and it has explanations also for the children. But look at these illustrations, isn't it beautiful? I really love Mr. Hope. He was one of the first illustrators I started following on Instagram, and I love this very naive style of illustrating he has. I was really happy to get this book. Look at this beautiful, big, bold illustrations, and here you have the explanations about the creatures, which, if you read French, you will get it. But if you like the illustration, even though you don't speak French, you can always get the book for the illustrations and then use Google Translate for the text. I do it all the time. So yeah, you have here the basilisk. All of you Harry Potter fans probably know this one. Centaur. This is my zodiac sign, Sagittarius. So you have Cyclops, which is in the cover of the book. Jackalope. Some of these I know, some of these I never heard about. Yeah, mythical creature, the licorn. So they are very, very sweet illustrations. I love his style, very 2D, flat style, but really, really endearing. And yeah, I thought it was a lovely illustrated book. This reminds me of the Pan's Labyrinth movie. But I confess I haven't taken the time yet to read through all of the descriptions, but I really enjoy looking at the illustrations. This is also the fawn from Pan's Labyrinth. And yeah, I guess this goes also into that category of imaginary worlds, like Terra, Ultima, only that these are more are not fictional creatures. They are more like cryptids, I would say. And yeah, gargoyle. Look at the pigeon with the poop. That's so hilarious, you know. I love this type of humor in illustration. So yeah, I hope you can appreciate this book as well. Look at this. This is painted using watercolor. You can see by the textures. Dragons, then Pegasus, Phoenix. Love. Also the background reminds me a bit of Tim Burton. Hint, hint. You'll see what I'm talking about later on. And yeah, this is one of my favorite creatures ever. The creature of the Black Lagoon. Love it. Love drawing it. It's one of my favorite cinema monsters, actually, or villains. And look at this Dracula. So expressive. Look at all the portraits over here. This reminds me of the Dracula Dead, but Loving It, I guess is the name, with Leslie Nielsen. It's a very funny movie. Great for Halloween. A funny Halloween. And yeah, I have King Kong over here. I'm going a bit faster because this book is very thick and you have a lot of illustrations. I wanted to show everything. You have here gremlins and the mummy, Frankenstein, Oogie Boogie. Here we are. We have a Tim Burton reference right here. I had forgotten this one. And Velociraptors. Now we have monsters from other worlds. We have the Alien, the Blob. So there's a lot of movie references as well. The Martians, another Tim Burton's movie. This Little Shop of Horrors, Big Plant. It's a lot of Halloween movie references right here. If you are into Halloween, I love Halloween, by the way. If you haven't noticed yet, you have the Predator. And what else? Witches. So we have Baba Yaga, Cerberus. Anyway, we go on with all of the beautiful illustrations. This one I don't know. The genie. Very nice. Super Mario. This is a great book for nerds like me. Golem. I have a little bit of everything. The Jabberwocky from the Alice in Wonderland. Krampus. Another great Halloween / Christmas movie. Morlocks. Never heard of this one. The Sphinx. Of course, the Earthworm. And any of you Tim Burton fans over here will know that this is Beetlejuice. Lovely. And here we have it. It was a very complete, thick book full of illustrations with mythical creatures, cryptids, and movie references. Lovely book. Now, as we are approaching Halloween and Christmas, of course, I could not include this one. That is one of my favorites ever. Illustrators and storytellers of all times, Tim Burton himself, as I said. I had this edition that was the 20-year edition of The Nightmare Before Christmas. I'm gonna check. It's a bit worse for wear. I had it for a while. A lot of different editions of this book. Is obviously a very popular book. The beautiful illustrations for the book. And I'm very excited because next week I'm traveling for long weekend to London, where I am going to be seeing an exhibition by Tim Burton himself, full of his gorgeous illustrations, so I cannot wait. The illustrations with the story. Look how lovely that is. I love all the mark making with pencil. This also goes to what I was saying in the previous books about texture and mark making. Love this. So it became a cult icon, deservedly so, for all of us weirdos, golf kids that enjoy Halloween and creepy things. So yeah, it's a very lovely book with all of Tim's illustrations and the story of how Jack discovered Christmas and about the nightmare before Christmas. This scene. This was one of my favorite movies when I was a kid. And I really love this scene in the movie when they found out these toys that are a bit aggressive. So yeah, it's a lovely classic book, and I think it's perfect for this time of the year. Like I said, we are approaching Halloween, and then comes Christmas, so it's the best of both worlds. And I haven't said, but I'll leave a link in the description below for all the books I mentioned, and if I don't find the books, I'll try to get something similar like this version. I'm not sure if I'll find the link for, but I'll for sure leave a link for some version of this book. So this was The Nightmare Before Christmas, written and illustrated by Tim Burton. A different sort of book, which is an art book that I got a while ago. I confess haven't tried any of the things here in the book, but I thought it was a very interesting idea, and considering, like I said, we are approaching these colder days where you just want to have a cup of tea or something in your hands, I thought this would be interesting as well. So here you will learn how to paint with tea, coffee, embroidery, flame, and more. It's mixed media using tea, coffee, and other things. And I find the artwork very interesting as well. It's very, very detailed. And I'm sorry, I forgot to mention the author. This is Karen Griffiths. I'm not sure if I'm mispronouncing this. But yes, by Quarto. So here you have the contents. Part 1 talks a little bit about materials, and then part 2 you have the projects. This is the author. And yeah, it's a very interesting book. I still think from time to time of using these techniques with tea to start with. So yes, it's talking here. He's talking about primers, like painting on stones, liquids and materials for painting, collecting tea. It's talking about the types of tea, then liquor, variety of alcohol, which must be an interesting experience as well to paint with alcohol, and calligraphy inks. Things from nature, making your own ink, and rubber stamps. So now we get to the fun part where you see the projects. So you have here traditional techniques with liquids. He has a very striking art style, a lot of pattern and mark making, very colorful. And yeah, It's an interesting approach, a bit more experimental. Here talk about using ink spills, so starting to create an image with some stains made with ink or tea. You can see here. Gesture marks, bleeding colors, really beautiful images here. And then he goes on top of the dried ink or tea with pen. Here you have imaginary forms, portraits with coffee. I recently joined a little workshop here in Dublin where we were painting with coffee. It was an interesting experience, I must say. You can see here also. So yeah, if you are interested in this type of expressive and experimental approach to art, I think it's a good compilation of different ways to do so. Here using salt, this is something I really like using with watercolor, and that's exactly what he did here, even though here he used ink, but it works the same for watercolor. Look how beautiful. He used the salt to create these blooms, and then use the blooms to draw flowers on top with the pen. Using thread, this is another very nice technique to use. I did the course on Domestika about embroidery on paper, and I started experimenting with it, but haven't gone too far, I confess, but also find it really interesting mixing embroidery and painting. This one I had never seen before, but I thought was really interesting, is using the flame and smoke to create marks. So basically burning the paper and then, or not burning the paper, but using the flame to make these dark marks on the paper. I would be scared of this one, I confess. I'm a bit clumsy and I would be scared of just burning my desk down to a crisp, but I'll probably try at some point the tea one. And the ink spills, they're a bit safer for me. But if you're brave, go ahead. I would love to hear if you try. You have pressing flowers, using leaves to create shapes. There's a lot of different ways of being adventurous with art, I guess. And then you have using boiling water to lift paint, something else I've never heard about. So yeah, it's a lot of different techniques. Runs and drips, applying gold leaf, metallic paint. These I really enjoyed using metallic paint mixed with regular traditional paints. Combined media, like I said, a lot of mixed media as well in this book. And adding tea to the image, so here adding the tea after drawing the image, drawing with wet ink into tea. He has a very distinctive style, but I mean, you can use this to do art your own way. You can use this as a starting point or inspiration and then just do it your way. That's what I would do, because this is very far from the type of things that I like to draw, but nevertheless I find it inspiring to try new things. So this was The Organic Painter by this author that I don't know how to pronounce the name, but here you have it. Now we have a gorgeous coffee table type of book that I fell in love as soon as I saw in the bookshop. I found it was a great collection of photos that were very inspiring to me. So this is Extraordinary Collections, French Interiors, Flea Markets and Ateliers. It has gorgeous images, a lot of illustrations and photographs. Look at this. Very nice type of natural history book type of illustrations. Look at these end papers, marbled papers. And here you have all of the summary, the topics, I would say. So you have different people and their collections, and you have the images over here. I find it fascinating because I don't know if you're aware, I'm a collector. I love collecting things since I was a kid. I collect paints, as you may have noticed in the channel. I'm always trying different paints. I love trying different pigments, different brands. I collect those as well. I don't know, I haven't counted them. I mean, I have an assortment of dolls from all over the world. Love them dearly. So when I saw this book, I was really intrigued in seeing all of these people's collections. I found it fascinating to see all of the things in these photos and discover every object. I find it very nice, this look. You see, I'm not a minimalist at all. I'm more of a maximalist, I would say. I love being surrounded by things that bring me joy. So this book really appeals to me, and I love to see the personality of the people that own these collections through their collections. You see here you have paint swatches and books, and you know, I'd say this is an artist collection for sure. Have all these illustrations here on top of the table. It's very eclectic, and the colors, I mean, it's really French, you know, the style. And I found it really inspiring, even for color palettes. You can see, you know, the color palettes in the pictures. And look at this collection of images. Isn't this gorgeous? I mean, I could not resist getting this book when I saw these photos and these illustrations. This is an antique dealer, so you have a mix between people's collections and antique dealers' photos. Has some very nice photos, which can also be a starting point for an illustration. You could use it as practice to do some still life, you know. And yeah, you have here some explanations about these objects. Then you have this antique dealer that sells glasses and tableware, and you have all of this. This also I really enjoyed in the book, that you have all of these illustrations of different types of glasses, which would be fun to draw also. And walking sticks. You see, there's a little bit of everything, I guess. This one has all sorts of doorknobs and doors. I believe this book is part of a collection. I think there was one about French interiors or something like that, but this was the one that I really liked. So here you have some vases. Look at this texture. I find it really nice. I always love texture in photos, in artwork. I really like textures and patterns, and there's lots of it in these photos. So So yeah, there's a lot of things you can use as reference to practice drawing and painting. Look at this, all sort of baskets. So there's a lot of collections, like the name says. You have some taxidermy, and yeah, not really much into this stuff, even though I like natural history. But look at the gorgeous turquoise colors of these books. Yeah, so I have here apothecary jars. Another antique dealer. Look at this lovely clown costume. The illustrations. I like the mix of it's kind of a mod podge of different things. So you have patterns, and you have what looks like tiles maybe, and then natural history illustrations, and then wallpaper or paint. It's really like a pinboard out of Pinterest or something like that, you know. I find it really, really inspiring to see all of these together on the page. Look at this. It's a very interesting kind of collage of different elements. Here you have some sculptures, which also can be interesting to sketch from. So yeah, it's a very interesting book, and I think that it would be lovely to have in your coffee table or just in your art corner to get inspired. Here you have pigments, lovely jars full of pigments. Look at all of these different brushes. Very interesting. So I have more brushes over here, lots of brushes. Hats. Ah, love hats. In case you haven't noticed yet, I love, 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 love hats. My illustrations, I'm always adding a hat to my animals. When I do animal illustrations, I just love hats. So this was also one of my favorite parts of the book. And yeah, here I think there are buttons. Yeah, lot of different buttons. Antiques. Look at this. I find this also very nice to sketch from as a reference, you know, this type of ornate patterns, and you can use the pattern itself on its own. I mean, you could use even this on a type of approach like I showed in the previous book with the stains and stuff. You do the stains, the tea, the ink, and then you go on top with a pattern like this. You can use it as a detail in some painting in a building or in clothing, you know. There's an infinite amount of possibilities you could use this for. More hats, paints, hats. I have the impression this will be a very long video, and I hope you are in for it, because I really, really love the books that I'm sharing today. So I wanted to take the time to properly show all of them so you have a good idea what they're about. I love watching book videos on YouTube before I decide on purchasing them, because nowadays it's not that easy to find all of the books in store, or you can see them yourself. So I tried my best to give you a good idea of the contents of the books, so you can decide if you want to purchase them or maybe look for them in your local library. So yeah, this is very interesting book. They're all the books that I'm showing are interesting in their own way, and some of them have lots and lots of pages like this one. So this page, I really love it. This is a page you could certainly use also for inspiration to create art from. Such a multitude of objects. It's like getting lost in some flea market, which I also happen to really, really love. So it's no surprise I was attracted to this book. I'm trying to go a bit faster now because I'm conscious of time, and yeah, really a treasure trove of lovely images and illustrations to keep you entertained in the cold days. So that was the very lovely book, Extraordinary Collections. I have 2 more books to share with you, and this is one of them. This is called Felinity by Bestiaire. When I saw this one, I was really, really attracted by the type of illustrations in this book. It's basically a collection of different artists painting cats. So I know that there are a lot of cat lovers here. So if you are into cats and cat drawing and cat painting, maybe this book is for you. So you have an array of different illustrators. You have the name of the illustrators here and the art over here. I'm just gonna flick through so you can see the type of illustrations, and they are very lovely. Some of them I like more than others, but overall I was really attracted to the type of illustrations in this book. Look at this texture with colored pencil. Really lovely. Also like this kind of surrealist type of illustrations. I also enjoy that I can use it to discover different new artists to me that I didn't know before. So I could check their work and follow their work as well. So yeah, there's a lot of different styles. Because I also enjoy, like I said, drawing characters, animals like humans with clothing and that type of thing. I really like this as well. I have some cat illustrations, but I don't have a lot of experience personally with cats. I always had dogs when I was a kid, but I find them very lovely. And the art is just, look at this, very nice texture as well. It's a very fine liner. Very nice. I love this cat tree. Here there are some facts about cats, fun facts, and then you have more illustrations. Find that so lovely to use for inspiration. Color palettes, for example, you know, and different ways of drawing the same thing. In this case, cats. Really like this illustrator as well, with the way she uses a lot of different shapes and the color palette also. This looks like, yeah, it's watercolor. So you have also the measurements here and the materials. And yeah, really interesting work. I'm gonna show you a bit quicker the rest of the illustrations. You have cats for days here, all sorts of cats. A lot of different styles with different materials. This is more of type of eye candy book or inspirational book. It doesn't have a lot of text, it's just a little bit of info about the artist, but still. And if you like finding out different arts and different artists, and most of all if you like cats, it's an interesting one. I will tell you when I arrive to one of my favorites. I think it's more by the end of the book, but all of them have their own charm. This one is also lovely with all the patterns. Very chubby round cats. A cat getting tattooed, that's a first. There's a lot of Asian illustrators over here. And I'm usually very into this type of art because I really love kawaii type of illustrations. This is very lovely as well. Very square but rounded at the same time. Love this type of style. How to become a cat. This is a bit more realistic type of style. Pen and ink. Yeah, I really love this page. I was very inspired by this page. I would like to try this type of approach with illustrating different topics, not necessarily cats, but having the subject at the center and then having all these patterns in the background. I found it really, really lovely, and also lovely color palettes. This one is my favorite. Turquoise and orange, of course. Look at this. This is patterns galore. Look how many patterns there are here. It's like a quilted blanket. Really love this one as well. Very lovely. I think she uses collage. Yeah, this was with gouache. This is gouache and this is collage. You can see by the leaves here. Let me just check again the name of this illustrator. Alison Colasar, yes. So yeah, collage. I've been saving some papers where I have some blobs of paint for collage. This is very lovely. I love this style as well. Very graphic. Look at this. Colored pencils. Look at this texture. Very, very nice. Colored pencil and gouache and digital. Here we are. Love this illustrator. Finish. So graphic. Love this type of illustration, very graphic, very bold colors. Really enjoy this one. And this was another one using this type of composition with the subject in the center and all of the patterns in the background, you see. And I really love it. This one, again, turquoise and orange. Very nice. And that's it. This was Felinity, a lovely collection of cat illustrations. And to finish off this very long video, I could not include, yes, of course, another Tim Burton book. And this is the Melancholy, Death of Oyster Boy and Other Stories. This is a book I've had for ages, and I absolutely love. This is a poetry book by Tim Burton. I'm gonna read the first one for you so you have an idea. This one is called Stick Boy and Match Girl in Love. Stick Boy liked Match Girl. He liked her a lot. He liked her cute figure. He thought she was hot. But could a flame ever burn for a match and a stick? It did, quite literally. He burned up pretty quick. It's a very quirky kind of book, and of course perfect Tim Burton style, a mix of creepy and endearing. I'm gonna try to zoom in a little bit so you can see the illustrations better, and here you go. So yeah, you have all the lovely illustrations. I find this book really funny every time I read it. It's really a tribute to all the creepy things lovers out there. Have Stain Boy, The Melancholy Death of Oyster Boy. It's a lot of heartfelt moments also in these apparently random poems, you know. If you stop to read it, there's a lot about human feelings in that, as a poet book usually has. So you have all these lovely illustrations. I'm gonna just look. Voodoo Girl. This is one of my favorite illustrations. The heart of Voodoo Girl. Stain Boy. I think there was even a cartoon made out of this character at some point. The girl who turned into a bed. Look at this. It's so quirky. I love it. Roy the Toxic Boy. So I had to take a little break because I just remembered that I own Roy the Toxic Boy, so I found that was funny to share here with you. I'm gonna let Roy here while I finish the book. And yeah, you have the story of Roy over here. Then you have James, Stick Boy, Festive Season, Brie Boy, Mummy Boy. It's so funny and creative. I mean, I love Tim Burton, you know. I hope if you have similar tastes to mine that you have already watched the second Beetlejuice. If you haven't, I really recommend it. It's very nice and pays a lovely tribute to the first movie, which is still one of my favorites ever. Jimmy the Hideous Penguin Boy, Char Boy. Let's It's a lovely collection of old characters. And here you have Oyster Boy. And here you have it. So I hope you appreciated this very long video with different books to warm up your colder days now. I hope you enjoyed this selection of books. If you do, please remember to give me the thumbs up. Leave your comments below if you have any of these books, if you'd like to get, or if you have any recommendations now that you know a little bit more about my tasting books. And check out the cards, check out the other book collections videos that I have. People seem to really enjoy this, so I'm happy to share a new one for the collection. And I hope you have a lovely Halloween, and I'll see you soon. Bye!